Hey, more tasting notes. Let's continue in American Single Malts. And you saw me shaking my hand. It was really just trying to shake up this little tiny bottle here in hopes that it's going to get the smell kicking around inside of this particular bottle. The one that I want to talk about today was, I was recently on a tasting with my friends from Bourbon Lens. And we were tasting through a bunch of American Single Malts. Ratification, it's always a thumbs up. And this was one that sort of caught me way off guard, mainly because there was a plethora of not so stellar reviews on it. But beyond that, the first time I tasted it, I didn't particularly care for it. But this time it was blind, and it really surprised me. So I thought it was a good opportunity for me to talk to you about it very specifically, right? Because maybe you shouldn't always believe what you hear, because sometimes that might impact how you feel about it when you actually get to taste it. But you know how we do the tastings? It's 3 different tastings on 3 different days with 3 different sets of glassware. Today we're talking about the Bulleit American Single Malt, very specifically. Yeah, we're talking about that one. So the first time through, the nose on it gave me some dirt, some cinnamon candy, some pear syrup, some red fruit. The palate on it was cherry cordial, maybe some type of a red fruit cordial, some dark chocolate, and the finish was like a spicy tea, right? Like tea, but a little bit spicy. Like there's tea here. The second time through, the thing that caught me off guard about this is that if you go back a few tastings, I had some tequila partita that had some earthy tones to it, some notes to it. This particular time through, this nose on this one made me feel like I was drinking that tequila partita again. It was almost a earthy, lemony note. The palate on it was lemon and vanilla, and then the finish was grain and malt and tannic, right? And so I haven't had too many that have had that big of a difference from the first to the second. But then when we go into the third tasting, we get another series of flavors. And so this is why we do this 3 times. The nose on it was orange blossom and orange gummy. And when I say orange gummy, I'm talking about those kind of gummies. And the palate on it had a little bit of hay note to it, and the finish was orange pith. So from the first tasting to the last tasting, there's a wild variance in what I tasted, and that's the experience that I get from Bulleit. And so there's a little tiny left here. Thanks, Scott and Jake, for sharing this with me. And hopefully you guys get an opportunity to try it in a blind setting where you're not going to be discouraged by something someone else told you.